There is one thing that almost every quietly ambitious person does at work, and it makes complete sense. It feels like the right thing to do, and it feels like the safe thing to do. You decide to just be really, really good at your job. You deliver, you exceed expectations, you go above and beyond every time. And you think to yourself, this has to be noticed eventually. This has to count for something. And it does count, but probably not in the way you think. And definitely not enough to get you where you want to go. Today I want to talk about why. This is awfully quiet for quiet people with loud career ambitions. So last week we talked about why speak up more is actually terrible advice for quiet people. And we landed on this idea that visibility is not about being loud, it's about being clear. Today we're going one level deeper, because there is another piece of advice that quietly ambitious people follow religiously. And it is even more seductive than speak up more. Just do great work and let the work speak for itself. And the uncomfortable truth is, the work doesn't speak for itself. And if you've been waiting for it to, this is the episode that's going to feel the right kind of uncomfortable for you. And hopefully also like a relief. Because it's not your fault, it's how the game works. And we are here to make some new rules. So let's start with what exceeding expectations actually means in a corporate environment. When you exceed expectations, you're doing what you were hired to do really, really well. And that matters. It really does. But the thing is, exceeding expectations is the baseline for being considered promotable. It's not the thing that actually gets you promoted. Think about it this way. Imagine two people up for the same role, both exceeding expectations, both do great work, both reliable, thoughtful, considered. The difference is almost never the quality of work. It's who people think of, who has made their value visible beyond just the output they deliver, who they can already picture as part of the team. And that is not just about output, it's also about presence, about being someone people enjoy working with, trust, and genuinely want to be around. That is a harder thing to manufacture, but it is also something that quiet people are often already good at. They just haven't been intentional about letting it show. Exceeding expectations gets you the foot in the door. It gets you the job interview. It gets you the opportunity, but it does not win it for you. And for quiet people, this can feel frustrating because promotion decisions are not purely based on merit. They're also based on perception. And that is a completely different game. Actually, quick thing before we go further. This show is called Awfully Quiet for a reason, because the way it grows is actually that, quietly. Not through loud ads, not through shouting about it, just one person listening or watching, sending it to another person who needs to hear it. You probably already know who to send it to. And please hit subscribe if you haven't yet. So if exceeding expectations isn't enough, why do quiet people keep betting everything on it? And I think the answer to that is very human, and you're going to resonate with it. It's because output feels safe. It's controllable. You can measure it. You can point to it. You can work harder at it. It doesn't require you to be in rooms that drain you or have conversations that feel performative or self-promote in ways that make you feel deeply uncomfortable. So quiet people pour everything into their work and they get really, really good at it. And then they wait. But while they are waiting, something else is happening. Other people, not necessarily more talented, not necessarily doing better work, are making themselves visible. They are in the conversations. They are building the relationships. They are being thought of. And when an opportunity comes up, they are the ones people think of. It's not that quiet people are invisible because they're not good enough. It's that they've been playing one game, output, while the promotion decision is made in a slightly different one. So what's the alternative? Because I'm not going to tell you to stop doing great work. That is not the point. Great work is still the foundation. You need it, but you cannot only rely on it. The shift you need to make is from delivering value to making that value legible. And legible means the right people can read it. They understand what you bring. They think of you for the right things at the right moment. Not because you told them how great you are, but because you've been deliberate about when and how your thinking lands. And what this looks like is a lot of small things done consistently. Like sharing your perspective in a meeting, not just your update. Writing a follow-up that shows your reasoning, not just your conclusion. Having a conversation with your manager about what you're working on and why it matters. None of this is loud. None of this is performing. It's just making sure that the great work you're already doing doesn't stay invisible. You have already done the hard part. Your work is already good. You're exceeding expectations. Now it needs to be seen. So here is what I want you to take away from this. Exceeding expectations is not the flex. It's the entry fee. The quietly ambitious people who get ahead, they don't work harder than everyone else. They work just as hard, and then they make sure that the right people understand what their work is actually worth. That is self-promotion. And I promise you, there is a quieter way to go about it than shouting your wins from the rooftops or into people's inboxes. You do need to leave your comfort zone, but you do not need to become someone you're not. The quiet way up is not about doing less. It's making sure what you do actually lands and gets remembered. Next week, we're talking about quiet ways to get pulled into the right opportunities at work. Hit subscribe quietly.